just got out of the cinemas from witnessing Transformers Rise of the Beast on the big screen at an early access screening, and I have some things that I want to talk about for this film, guys. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the review. Let's go. What's going on, you guys? The Demigod back on Demigod AT, bringing you another movie review for the newest installment into the Transformers universe, that being Transformers Rise of the Beast. I believe this is our 7th Transformers films to hit the theaters, and considering I was at an early access screening, they hooked us up with some posters, which, as you can see right here, a pretty cool poster there, and then also they gave us a collectible patch right there, so I definitely appreciate those two items. But did I appreciate this movie? Well, let's go ahead and discuss that. So this film takes place in 90s New York City, which we are introduced to through the character of Noah Diaz, who's our lead in this film, and he happens to bring an ethnic feel to this movie, especially considering this is set in the 90s, so they use a lot of classic hip-hop records inside of here, which if you're a fan of hip-hop, you'll definitely connect and relate to those. Now, soon after the introduction of our character, he runs into an Autobot by the name of Mirage. Now, Mirage ends up taking him to meet all the other Autobots, so we end up meeting the entire crew, being reintroduced to a lot of classic characters such as Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, etc, etc. Plenty of Transformers inside of here, plenty of different classifications of Transformers inside of here. Not only do we have Autobots, which of course are the good guys, but we also have Terrabots, which instead of Decepticons, they went with Terrabots this time for the antagonist, for the villain of this film. And the Terrabots work for Unicron, so Unicron is almost the overall bad guy inside of this movie, the overall threat, who is this planet destroyer. And of course, through the promotion of this film, they definitely advertise this film heavily off of the Maximals inside of here. Now, the Maximals are this very ancient feel to the Transformers, and instead of transforming into cars, they transform more into like animals and things like that. Now, this film uses a MacGuffin to drive the plot forward, which they call the key inside of here. Now, the key has 2 different parts, and once these parts are connected together, the Autobots can either return home, or the Terrabots can summon Unicron to the planet of Earth to then decimate Earth, pretty much. Now, because of this, we end up seeing Noah and one other human character inside of here partnering with the Autobots to help them retrieve this key so it doesn't fall into the hand of the bad guys. Now, the way that they implemented the humans inside of here, I gotta be honest with you guys, I really disliked it, and I feel like a lot of Transformers films have this problem where they just don't know where to fit in their human characters, how much screen time to give them in comparison to, you know, the Transformers, the Autobots. And this film definitely falls victim to that too, because very soon after, you know, helping find the initial key, when it comes to the second part of the key, Noah has absolutely no reason to be involved inside of this plot. I mean, he's a regular guy from New York who's trying to earn a quick buck because his family needs some financial help, you know, so he doesn't have any special characteristics or abilities or anything like that, but you still find him interwoven into this war between the Autobots and the Terrabots, which I just found completely pointless and unnecessary, which is sad because, as I mentioned earlier, he's one of the few characters I related with inside of this film, and the only human character I appreciated and related with inside of this film. Now, when it comes to the Transformers, the standouts here are, as usual, Optimus Prime and a new character, or at least a new character to me, that being Mirage. Now, Bumblebee is in here. He doesn't get that big of a role. There's also tons of other characters inside of here that I'm sure the Transformers fans will definitely appreciate. And I thought this film started out decent. It actually got me into the movie. I liked the first act. I liked where this film seemed to be leading up until the second act. Once this film hits the second act, once we hit almost the mid part of this movie or going into the mid part of this movie, it slows down. It gets boring. I stopped caring about the stakes, about our character motivations. There's hardly any character development with inside this movie for the Transformers and for the humans. There's almost no character development, almost no emotional attachment to these characters. I could care less what happens to anyone inside of this film. And when this film does want to go for the big emotional moments, it just undoes it by the end of the movie. And once you watch the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about when I say that. And that leads us into the third act of this film, which I thought was just very average. Of course, you get this big, action payoff where they're having this giant fight between the two. Some of these scenes came off awkward to me, especially again when we're seeing this human being in the middle of this fight between this alien race on a huge magnitude. It just doesn't make any sense, guys. And this whole third act, especially this giant, payoff action scene, feels like one long trailer. And by this point in the film, they even stopped caring how the music was implemented. I mean, they're just straight blaring this hip-hop track by the end that just doesn't fit in the scene at all, which is sad because I really liked the introduction of the music up until this point. Now, I'm gonna keep it 100% with you guys. This is a very mediocre movie. I wasn't into this at all going into it or leaving it, which is honestly sad. I really wanted to like this one. And with that being said, I'm just gonna go ahead and drop the official rating for you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and give Transformers Rise of the Beast a 6 out of 10. It gets the 6 out of 10, man. A mediocre film, mediocre theatrical experience, a normal summer blockbuster that we see drop every single year. And if you're wondering if you should go out and see this one, I would say if you're a Transformers fan, you might appreciate this one. Go and see this at a matinee. But if you're not a Transformers fan, if you're not into these movies, like I'm not that into these films, just wait to watch this at home if you want to watch it at all. And if you're just itching to get back in the cinemas, like I find myself quite a lot of times, I would recommend you just go see Spider-Verse one more time, which, by the way, you could check out my review for Across the Spider-Verse right here. One of the best films this year. I just wish I wouldn't watch that for a third viewing instead of watching this one, honestly. But of course, I had to bring the review for you guys, so I went out to see this movie. I hope you got something out of this review. I hope you appreciated this review. Those are my thoughts on Transformers Rise of the Beast. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. If you don't know what I do here on Demigod, I need to do commentaries, reactions, and reviews. If you're seeing that in the right place, man, hit subscribe. Hit the like button. I drop multiple videos a week on the channel, so you can expect out of me. And if you don't already know, I am the Demigod, the chosen one here on Demigod ENT. And I'm out of this thing, man. I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.